Welcome to Linux Saloon, a place to discuss tech, open source, and where Linux is always on tap. Each show have a talk about Linux projects such as a distribution, a desktop environment, or application. We also chat about the news or any variety of topics from the community. Anything that is Linux, tech, and open source related is on the table for discussion. I'm Nate, Linux fitness and vintage tech enthusiast with an almost unhealthy obsession with the OpenSUSE project. With me today, I got a quite the packed panel of marvelous people. I ran out of alliterations for P there, but I have Seeker, Dale of Low Tech Linux fame. I got Ben Eris, Mike Chilson, Chaston, Jinda, Adam Grubbs, and Tyler of the Caffeinated Linux variety. How is everybody?
Good. Great.
Well, have you done the straw poll? If you haven't done
Yes, sir.
so, yes, please do the straw poll. I always like to see all kinds of just different things in the straw poll. And we got quite a few people here in the chat already. I got Days Vintage, Apple Tech, Anna Rita. She is here early. Normally she shows up like 50 minutes before close, and I'm kidding. It's like usually half an hour in, but she must have nothing to do tonight. So thank you, Anna, for being here. Don Leckland is in the chat as well. So thank you so much. So on the dock for today, we're doing an open mic night, and we got some app developers here in the midst. So we're going to talk about a little bit of app development. I also want to have a chat about Linux adoption again, because I was listening to some podcasts today, I don't know, sometime, and that's kind of been in the news a lot, so I want to get some other thoughts on you fine folks here in the saloon. So, but first, we need Linux and tech. Well, I got to share something kind of almost tragic incident today. So I'm working outside. I'm doing a landscaping project, and where I live in Michigan, basically, nature will take over extremely rapidly. So if you don't take care of your yard, by the end of summer, basically you're not going to find your house, kind of, sort of. At least around me, I have like weeds and growth. I'm right by the woods, and it's constantly encroaching in. But I did put up a fence, but I'm removing that fence because I'm doing some big changes, and I'm using my what's it called, like a bush trimmer. It's got those blades that go back and forth like this. I almost lost my fingers as a child to one of those, so I'm always nervous using it. But anyway. Is that a PTSD thing? Don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so as I'm doing that, a bug, like, it was a mosquito or something, is like by my ear, and I thwack it, and I hit my ear, which has my earbud in it, and it goes flying into the prickers, into the bush, whatever. I got some good old scratches for me from searching around, and I saw where it landed, I thought, and so I'm looking through trying to find it.
Yes.
And I'm not being able to find it. I tried playing like really obnoxious music with it. I took the other earbud out and put it far away to try and see if I could hear it. But nature's very noisy. I don't know if you ever noticed that, how noisy nature is. But not only is it trying to kill you, but it's noisy. Anyway, so I found this application, not an application, but a website. So if you happen to lose your earbud and and it's still connected and you got to find it, it's called earbudfinder.com. I'll go ahead and put it in the chat here. And so this is a little tip for you in case you have an earbud that falls out of your ear and it's still connected, don't know where it went, unless it went in the water, then you have different problems. But check that out. It makes the most obnoxious sound that you can actually hear, even with my not the greatest hearing that it once was. But I found the earbud. It was a good 3 feet from where I saw it land. Don't know how that happened. Must have opened a little portal somehow and then reappeared someplace else. That's the only thing I can think how that worked. But I found it right before basically starting Linux Saloon. So thanks to earbud-finder.com, I still have my earbuds. So yeah, anyway. Have any of you ever lost an earbud and was just kind of have that gutting sensation of, oh man.
A friend of mine my brother lost his earbud once. Yeah, would have been great to have.
Yeah. Do you remember remember when the earbuds first came out, Apple had them, and it had like people like dancing? Remember those like on a subway or something like that? Do you remember those cartoons? It's just like it was like simple animation things.
Yeah.
And remember the they were like memes, or I think that was like the early stages of memes, but of people doing there's a mocking that animation and they're dropping the earbuds and paying for more earbuds and then dancing with it and dropping it and buying more earbuds, basically saying Apple just has it as a cash grab. Anyway, I kind of thought about that animation, made me laugh. Anyway, so here we are. I have
I
earbuds
did a
now.
similar thing, Nate.
Yeah.
I ran out of storage on my PS5, so I bought another PS5.
Like earbuds.
Yeah.
Did you swat at something when you were trying to get the bugs away? Is that why you got the additional one?
Yeah, I just figured while I was at it. I was
Yeah.
already over at Best Buy, so when I was swatting. So
Well, so is it the same? Okay, so when I bought a PS5 for my kids, I got the one with the I'm sorry, when Santa got the PS5 for the kids, the it has the built-in drive. It's not the cost reduced model. It's a larger model. So is that what you got, or do they still make those? Or are those no longer being made, or how does that work?
no, I was just messing about buying two of them. I just have one, but no, I have
Well,
the PS5 Pro,
okay.
the bigger, nicer, whatever one,
Mm-hmm.
the one that runs Elden Ring without stuttering. That's the main thing.
I've never played that. Is that a good game?
Have fun, Nate. You'll love it.
So Tyler, you can pipe in if you want to say that. But you said you once had an earbud fall into the tub as you were cleaning something. Oh,
Yeah. So, yes, cleaning something in the tub, earbud fell into my ear right to the liquid. After it dried, the earbud itself, I could still listen to audio from it, but the touchpad that was on the side of the earbud no longer functioned. And I didn't realize that until I had to pair it to a new device. And so the way that pair entered Bluetooth pairing mode is you touched both touchpads for an extended period of time.
Oh, okay.
And if that earbud's touchpad didn't work, I was kind of out of luck. So it was close enough to my birthday last year when I noticed that. So I used that as an excuse to buy a new pair.
What brand
Yep.
of earbud was that has a touch?
Is the high-end Sony earbuds, the WF, the model that had that earbud, the touchpad go bad on it was the 1000 XM3.
Okay.
And I upgraded to the 1000 XM5.
Yeah, I got the Raycon, which is what I dropped. The Raycon earbuds. I'm sure you've seen them, like YouTubers push those. Pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
If Raycon wants to sponsor this show, I wouldn't mind. And they're actually really nice earbuds, except the case now doesn't actually hold the charge, so I have to have it plugged in for it to charge. Earbuds still hold the charge, but the case doesn't. So that's kind of unfortunate.
I was actually really frustrated because that happened just a couple months after I had gone in and replaced the batteries in both those earbuds.
So there's no hope
I
for
still-
fixing the touchpad on those?
Probably not. I still have those earbuds and I could load them up to existing paired devices, but I just can't pair it to new stuff.
So I also bought some Pine Bud Pro. I wear those quite a bit too. I think those are a good earbud. The battery, they're a little bit larger, but those have the touch on there, but they have different things for whatever. But to put those in pairing mode, they just have to be disconnected and they automatically go into pairing mode. So if the I don't know, I just couldn't go into the other modes that I still haven't quite figured out all the other modes.
The thing I like about the XM5, the upgraded model, is the touchpads are no longer required for pairing mode.
Oh, okay.
The case has a button on it that'll let you enter pairing mode, which is so if that ever happened to my new pair, I could still pair them.
Unless you drop your case in the tub, then you might have a new problem.
That's a lot less likely since I don't think the case is in my ear ready to fall out.
Probably not. Yeah. Anybody else here have a fun earbud story?
Well, I usually go cycling with those earbuds, and I've had them fall out a couple of times, and I'd have to like stop my bike and go back.
Oh,
But I've never they've never broke or anything. I just have like this generic set of like earbuds, and I always I was afraid like they would fall out, then they fell out. So
well, it's actually when you think about it. I hope you don't fall out and then it falls out.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think earbuds are pretty great. Maybe it's time for a new pair, or maybe I fix the case. I don't know. All right, there's still time to do that straw poll. If you have not done so yet, do the straw poll if you are currently afflicted with Hoppertitus from hopping from distro to distro. So go ahead and knock that out, and then Eris, if you'd like to take it away, take it away.
I'll go over the responses first. Let me see.
Alrighty. Give people some time.
Just finish voting one last time. The first response was, after hopping for 6 years, I landed back on Debian, but I'm using GNOME instead of XFCE. I learned that I also like Solus and Void, so they can be my fallback if necessary.
So they didn't really been cured then, sort of.
I guess they're cured.
Cure is a
And
subjective term.
I think they're infected with like a new disease if they're using the GNOME desktop.
Oh, I hear some some strong opinions here. Okay.
Yeah.
For the second response, says, been using LM since maybe 2013, so I guess I'm cured. I will, however, test other distros on older machines or VMs.
So then, is that a cure of Hoppertitis? Like, what's the line there?
I would say, yeah, your main distro probably. You just
Okay.
keep the main distro. Probably is very good. And then somebody else said, Fedora and Raspbian. Been running Fedora primarily since about 2015, but had reloaditis until recently. I tend to upgrade shortly after branching for entertainment value.
Sweet. I can understand that. You have one computer, you just want to have the latest and greatest and see what happens.
Somebody else said, great poll. I think people in this group are slowing down on distro hopping. I'm trying to slow down on it. And then somebody else said, other. I don't really think I'd consider myself a distro hopper. I'm lazy and I don't like having interruptions on my primary systems. So I do all my testing on spare hardware. If I stumble upon something that I do happen to enjoy on one of the spare computers, I will then make preparations to switch over to it on my main systems. But that rarely ever happens. My primary workstation has been on the same install Fedora since 2021, obviously being updated as new releases come out, and Fedora in general since 2020. And the last comment was, I was on Ubuntu or a derivative from 2004 to 2018. Then I was hopping about with Arch and derivatives. Debian, Fedora, SUSE for a while until I settled on Fedora. Though I did not have Arch on my laptop this last half year. Fedora is just super nice, and the upgrade process has been perfect all this time. Before 2004, I was trying out Red Hat and SUSE now and then, but still using Windows as my daily.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting thing. I think what sometimes people like they go with the distro for a while. I said settle, but I don't know if that sounds like a derogatory term. They go with the distro for a while, and then something happens to that distro, and then they hop till they find something else, and then settle for it and whatnot. So Jinda, he's an MX guy, so he's not really distro hopper.
Sorry, guys.
That's all
I
right.
haven't really done too much distro hopping over the years.
I've been on OpenSUSE since 2011, so it's been a while.
Wow. Wow. That's about as long. I think that's about as long as I've been using Linux.
Yeah, I've been up.
I think I was like, I started using like 2009. So
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't know. I did try it out, like on real hardware and everything not too long ago, and there has been some real improvements to OpenSUSE. I remember like when I first started using Linux, I used OpenSUSE, and it was just like I hated the whole zipper thing. It took forever. And, yeah, but I think there's some pretty good improvements.
Yeah. So what are the results there, Eris?
So the number one result for, are you currently afflicted by hepatitis? So I didn't even read the definition. Let me read that. Are you currently affected by hepatitis is the poll, and it says hepatitis, Contagious melody that spreads between Linux users, causing them to continually hop from one distro to another in search of operating system perfection or purely for geek gratification. And the number one answer was I have been cured for several years now with 31%. It has me, with 18%. 18% also. It has been many years since I found the cure. 13%. Recently, I've been cured of this disease. 13% other, and 8% Tux Penguin.
I wonder what Tux Penguin would mean in this regard. Maybe I've never been Hopper afflicted with it.
In theory, they could just not use Linux full time.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah, that's
That could be.
probably the likely.
I don't know why you wouldn't. At least
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Well, yeah.
That's cool though. That's a fun
Yeah.
poll. I don't think I ever had like a real serious case of Hoppertitis. Because I went from when Mandrake kind of fizzled out, I hopped a little bit for a short period of time. That was actually the most stressful Linux time of my life, I would say. Like
Oh,
like
God.
not having a Linux home. That was
I had a real bad, terrible case of it when I first got into Linux.
I think everybody like does that. Like the first like
Ditto.
6 or 7 months, like, well, what is this about? What is that about? You know, like you
Well, Seeker
wanna-
can attest to me having it for years, can't you?
I think you still have it.
Yeah, I've had it for years too.
I think it's truly something that I don't think ever goes away for most users, but for me, I still have a small, very bad case of it at times. I just, StormOS will always be my home, but there's a part of me that still has that small itch to do it every now and again. I don't know why. I can never really
This is
stay
your
in
baby,
one
that's
place
why.
for very long without getting hella bored. I don't know why. I can't get away from it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, Eris, where would you put yourself on this poll?
I recently hopped, so I said it has me.
Oh, okay. What'd you hop to?
I went back to Bazite.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
very interesting. I use
Yeah.
Aurora, but I don't know for how much longer.
So what was the push that put you toward Bazite?
I was using Ubuntu,
Okay.
and I just got tired of it. I tried
Okay.
living with it, and I just couldn't stand it anymore.
And which flavor of Bazite? Because there's have different options there. Do they?
Oh,
KD?
the Bazite DX. I don't know if it's still beta. Seems run pretty good. So you get like containers. You get I think you have to install Virtual Manager, and you get the gaming side. It's like everything basically.
So which hardware did you select for that? Just desktop.
Oh, it's on
PC?
my framework. It's on my framework.
Oh, you have a framework.
Yeah.
Which
We
which
talked
one?
about this, I think a month, the last time I came a month earlier. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
I have AMD 13-inch.
13-inch.
The prior model, not the AI one.
Okay, gotcha. So this is
How long
just.
were you on Mandrake?
I was on Mandrake, then became Mandrake. So I started on Mandrake in 2002, and then I used that. I did try some other things in there, like there's some Debian stuff that I tried in there, but it was basically there weren't a whole lot of options at the time. There was like Fedora, Mandrake.
Fedora
Red Hat.
Core, right?
Yes, Fedora Core at the time, and then you had Debian, and that was pretty much it, basically. So
In the end, there's always Debian.
well, there's Slackware. Yeah. Oh, there's always Debian.
Yeah, I've been using Slackware recently. I have my laptop here. Like, here's my normal laptop. I have another laptop whoops, sorry about that. I have another laptop that I installed Slackware on that I'm just messing around on.
So, Eris, did you go for the option, yes, I want to load directly in the Steam gaming mode, or no, I want a traditional desktop experience?
Oh, the traditional, and I mean,
Okay.
I would have to have dedicated hardware just for the game, I think, if I was doing that. And it's just a general purpose desktop.
Honestly, I gotta say, most Linux distributions right now don't really excite me. Like, even to some degree, even OpenSUSE doesn't really excite me because it's just been working. But like something about Bazite, like I find it really, the whole, like everything that's going on with the whole Bazite and the Fedora
Immutable thing.
yeah, well, immutable-ish, I guess, or atomic or cloud ready, whatever you want to call it. There's something very exciting about that. I don't want it for me necessarily, but the whole concept really, it doesn't work quite for me for my main machine, but like other ancillary machines now, I'm kind of pushing toward the Bazite at this point. So
I love it, but just not for me.
well,
Where I'm at now is my main workstation is still Fedora workstation, but everything else I'm running some form of Fedora Atomic on.
okay, yeah, but that's the same core though, right? The same. What is it called? I mean, I'm even in the Discord group and I can't remember what it's called right now.
What's called?
The
What do you
the,
what
the
do you wanna
whole
know?
the whole overarching
Blue
Universal
Blue?
Blue. Universal Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You blue?
the whole Universal Blue thing is very interesting to me.
Yeah.
So like I keep thinking, and I think I've said this here before. I know I've talked to Adam about this, but for me personally, my own personal machine, I want to have the flexibility to do whatever I want. I don't necessarily want to deal with distro boxes all the time or whatever. Like if it's a core piece, I don't have to like rebuild it and pull it down because I'm lazy. But you can do the transactional updates, but it requires a reboot for it to work. And anyway, that aside, I don't like that as much. I like let's throw the packages together. Zipper handles out very well. But if let's say I were deploying Linux desktops in the workplace, or if I'm going to give a Linux desktop to a friend who just wants a computer to work, I think at this point, Bazite would be my go-to for that.
Yeah, either Bazite or Aurora or Bluefin,
Nah, specifically Bazite. Because I like the...
because everybody likes gaming, yeah.
yeah,
You need
and-
to make sure their hardware works because that could be an issue if you need like to install drivers to get anything working. I know that for my printer, if you try installing it to Silverblue, it doesn't work because it's not an actual installer. It's not like a RPM or a deb. It's like it's like a script, so that doesn't transfer over to Silverblue. But since Bassite and like uBlue has everything installed pretty much, so it does cover my printers for that.
So,
Yeah.
wait. So if you... that's actually a good question. So if you have to install like some other...
If
printers...
it's a regular deb or like an RPM, I think it will work. But like I said, like my printer, that's like a script they gave you to install the printer, so that it didn't transfer. It never ended up working for Silverblue.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's
had a similar issue, but not with the printer. I had it with it's called Irian Web. It's what I use to record from my cell phone onto OBS. I use it as a camcorder, and I couldn't get it installed on Aurora. So it has like this. It has this layering system that's really weird, and on this particular layering system, it can't rewrite to the dependencies in etc and user or something like that.
So my experience with kind of weird hardware is why I've stuck with just workstation on my desktop is I have a capture card. In the major capture card, they don't package their drivers for under like RPM or deb or anything like that. So you can't layer an RPM of that driver. They just give you a script that builds that driver against the current kernel and then loads it up.
I thought
So
cups with the universal driver system built into cups that's no longer an issue, or did I? Because I thought we had that discussion when we had the developer, Cups
It,
developer.
it depends on the printer.
Okay.
In theory, it's no longer an issue.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what was funny because I think Fedora, I don't remember if it was Fedora or Silverblue. It tried installing my printer, but it never worked. Like it says, I install your printer for you, and I tried it, but it never worked. And like I said, I tried using the package they gave you from upstream from the printer itself,
Mm-hmm.
and it never worked that way. But it was interesting
So-
like that.
Nessa ran into that as well. Like she was on Bazite with Plasma, and it wouldn't actually add the printer like through the GUI. Actually ended up going into the Cups interface through the browser, the localhost like 621 or whatever it is.
Yep.
And actually was able to add it in there.
Oh.
So it might be something to get around that.
I think, didn't we talk about this when you're talking about Nessa and her experience with Bazite? Or is Bazite, right? Yeah.
Probably.
And then you complained about the KDE tool for printers is kind of,
Booty?
yes, I think that's the word I think
Yeah.
we used. Yeah, I think so. Now that I understand how it works, it's basically just the fields that you would have in the Cups interface. So it doesn't do anything to really help you along. But now that I understand how it works, it's very quick for me to test various printers of the same model that are IP based. And so I just change something, apply, change something, apply. Then I can actually check to make sure it's actually working like it's supposed to. But anyway, that's only because I understand how it works. It's not user friendly at all. It's user hostile, actually.
Yeah. No, I would agree. But the one thing is if you need to, sometimes you need to write like an RPM file, and Coper is so easy to write a package for it. It makes all the guesswork out, or it takes all the guesswork out.
Gotcha. Well, neat. Dale, you did make a comment in here. I don't know if you want to actually speak it. So you start out on Mandrake also. So we're kind of like Linux brothers, I think, sort of.
Yeah, it's Mandrake. Somewhere 99, 2000, I was on Mandrake. Switched to PC Linux OS, which is RPM. It was pretty good. And I actually used Kubuntu for 12 years-ish. So I really, really liked Kubuntu. And I left Kubuntu, not to make it a political thing, but right about the time they did the snaps, started really pushing the snaps, and went to Manjaro. I think Manjaro is a really good distro. You know, gonna get hate for that probably. I don't think the parent company of Manjaro is as good as their distro. I'll just say that.
Okay.
And then figuring Manjaro Arch, I went ahead and used Arch, and that was 2 weeks before Arch got hit with that grub bug that broke everybody's Arch. So I switched back to Manjaro shortly, and then Tumbleweed. Been on Tumbleweed ever since. Been happy.
I understand.
Yeah.
Completely understand.
Yeah.
What were you saying,
Yeah,
Chester?
I was just gonna say, yeah, I kind of understand. I think I would actually find a really nice home in OpenSUSE possibly, which kind of surprised me when I used it because, like I said, I remember using it years ago. It was so painful, but sometimes you have to remember like when Yum was really bad too.
Yeah. So on my laptop, my main laptop that I use, I actually set up transactional updates on that Tumbleweed install. So my laptop updates every night at midnight, does a snapshot, reboots, and I've been doing that for roughly 3 or 4 weeks and haven't had any problems out of it. And
Do you have
I've
a
got
video on how you set that up?
I don't know if I have a video, but I have a how-to article on my website, which is down right now because I'm trying to migrate from HostGator to Bluehost, and it's not going well. So,
These things happen.
yeah, things happen. Yeah.
Because I'd be interested in seeing like how you engaged transactional updates in OpenSUSE. Is that because that's essentially the transactional updates, Adam? Isn't that essentially what the whole Universal Blue uses?
I was totally talking to Nessa. I missed everything. How's it going?
Hey, Adam, so nice to have you tonight. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, Nate, the transactional updates, if I remember correct, was actually made or put in OpenSUSE for micro OS
right.
because that's how it works. And it's in Tumbleweed repos because micro OS
It's
is
built on
based
that.
on Tumbleweed.
So then you could. All right, let me just give me just a second here. I need to write something down here. Transactional updates. Check this out. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, there's just so much. It's just packaging used to be so simple in Linux, I feel like, and then it became more universal and less simple, but probably better and more confusing.
As far as my website goes, if it's not up and running by Monday, I'm just going to switch it all back to HostGator, and it should be back up in a couple hours from that point.
Okay. Well, let me know.
Can I step in for a second with Dale?
Absolutely.
Dale, are you running a WordPress site or just a straight HTML site?
WordPress.
Okay, let me tell you what Bluehost does. And this is a warning for everyone. What they do is when you purchase your hosting the first year, they put you on a new server, not just you, but a low impact server. And then they start adding people after that. Okay. So they never put a new user on the server that has more than X number of sites on it. So what happens over about a year's time, you start seeing a slowdown. And it gets slower and slower and slower. And they've been called out on this so many times.
You talking about Bluehost or HostGator?
Bluehost.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to forewarn you. I mean, you may get lucky and it not happen, but I've built dozens of sites for people, and a lot of those were WordPress sites, and put them on Bluehost, and they all did exactly the same thing.
Well, I can tell you, I'm not real happy. Well, I'm disappointed so far, and I signed up with a 30-day money back guarantee, and I'm 75% of the way of cashing that back in. So
yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, to be honest, the easiest thing to do is to go to somebody like Linode or DigitalOcean and get one of their little single containers. And, they have like an image for WordPress.
Well, I don't want to hijack the show, but I've got
Open mic night.
I've got 7, I think, websites that are all on one account.
Okay, well, I mean, you can run. Let me see. I'm trying to think which one of mine has the most on it. I've got one running 5, and it's like $15 a month.
Where's that at?
On Linode.
Okay.
It's a little more work because you're having to set up your own server, but
I'll get your phone number after we get off.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, would I have the same problems if I was making like a Hugo site? Or is this just specifically for WordPress?
Well, I anything that's database driven, you're probably going to have a problem. So
I gotcha.
If it's just HTML, it shouldn't be an issue,
I gotcha. All right.
Because they overload their MySQL databases like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, man. Okay. I got it.
Thank you for the heads up.
Oh, sure, no problem.
Well, cool. Well, that's good to know. I just host mine at WordPress.com, which I know is not the cheapest, but this way I don't have to deal with any of the certificates and things expiring, and because I don't always check stuff like that, and I decided that I'm just going to go ahead and pay for the Cadillac plan with WordPress. It's already paid for itself over and over again, so at this point I don't care. So, with that said, it is an open mic night, and we had some in the pre-show discussion we were having during the countdown, getting things ready. Seeker was telling us about some of the stuff he's been working on. And so, Seeker, are you ready to have a chatsy on your stuff? All right. So what I wanted to talk about initially was about your app. The fact that you're doing app development. You've done several apps now, and I do believe I have tried more than one of those. But the thing that really I keyed into was you have an AppImage builder that you put together. It's not going to be included in the next StormOS, but it's something that you've worked on, and I'm really curious to know. First, tell me about this AppImage builder that you have.
Well,
some of the challenges with it, and then everything else, and how you get that to work. Go ahead and start with that. I'm gonna basically bombard you with a bunch of questions. So
no, that's fine. That's fine. Let me just think here for a minute, because it works primarily with what's the word I'm looking for? Okay. It works with Arch because it requires Squash FS. So it works on Arch, but it's a Python-based program.
Okay.
And what it does, it picks up Qt or GTK. So in other words, if it works with the Python program currently, it'll mirror it'll strip a lot of the Python programs with it.
Okay.
And then the AppImage from that. So then you can transfer I've tested out with StormOS, and I've transferred it into Endeavor, and it works in there as well. So the AppImage normally works that way.
All right. So you have this builder script.
Mm-hmm.
Describe the limitations for targeting, what machine. So when you build an AppImage, it's not truly universal. It is really like a window of what you can basically support with it, right?
Exactly. Yes.
So how do you widen that window, and what do you do to maybe mitigate some of those factors?
Well, the only problem I've seen is that it requires the Python modules to be installed. First, you have to test out the Python program to see if it works on that. If not, then because it works off of the Python scripts that is built. I mean, I don't include it with pip. I mean, we use pipx, but we don't use it. I mean,
so
the best way to, go ahead.
So you're targeting a certain version of Python, I assume, and then
the most current version.
When do you decide to how much of the Python libraries do you include inside of the AppImage, and what or do you not?
No, it just strips the ones that are required at that point.
Okay.
It's such a massive library, though. That's the thing.
So how big does this AppImage end up being?
Let's say the browser itself is about 200 megs, 200 plus megs.
Okay. And that's how big the AppImage is. Now you said the Squash FS, though. You can.
Yeah, it uses ZST compression. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh.
And so now have you tested that AppImage on other non-Arch distributions?
No, I never got a chance to. I mean, I'm still looking for testers. It's been just Ben and I, myself and Ben.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd be interested in trying that out if you're willing.
Sure.
And then
definitely.
Yeah.
And-
I'll put it up on our SourceForge after the
Give
show.
number 11, Ben. Give it number 11.
Yeah,
So-
I'll put the
sure,
God.
yeah, and put a link in here.
We
Now,
have 14D. That's the only version I
That's
got.
you need App Creator number 11, which I have right here.
Oh, the creator number 11. Yeah, just link that to me in
Yep.
Discord, and then I'll put it up on our SourceForge for them to compare.
And now I'm curious to know. So you built a tool then for creating app images. Have you attempted that with anything like Flatpak or Snaps?
No. I just wanted to do an app image because I felt it was more universal versus a Flatpak or a Snap. Because I wanted just to install it, give it permissions, and then just launch it. That's just the way I looked at it.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Do you use any app image integration tools like AppImage Launcher or
No,
Geary?
No.
Geary? Is it called Geary?
no. Let me
Gear Lever. That's what it's called.
No, actually, when you look at the code, you'll notice it uses a lot of the AppImage tools itself that are built in, and it grabs the GitHub runtime
Okay.
to build it.
What is included in that runtime?
From GitHub itself, the runtime tools
For AppImages.
for AppImages, yes.
Do you have a link? Can you throw a link to that like in the meeting chat? I'd be interested in also
Yeah,
doing that
yeah.
there as well.
A moment. I don't have it listed
Yeah.
on. I'm going to give it to Ben, but let me look for it first.
Okay.
So, because
I'll
I think
check
like
it out too.
yeah, this
Yeah.
'cause I think this would be interesting for someone like I know Mike. He's been working on been doing some app development
Yeah, I know.
himself, and so Mike could
Yeah.
probably he may be interested in that as well.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, let me just look for it because I have it right here.
Yeah, I've been working with Squash FS this last week anyway, just like I haven't worked with Squash FS for a long time, but I'm working on it right now actually.
Yeah, it uses Squash FS, and you'll need PS utilities,
Yes.
Python, and then it'll tell you what other 3 programs it needs. It actually tells you.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, I
All
built
right.
to it. Here it is. I made a duplicate of App Creator, so just one sec.
So that's neat.
App Creator 11.
So how long did it take you to develop
Hmm.
this tool for creating app images for you?
It took me because I lost my tower. It died. So I had to buy an extension cord that actually plugs into it through the SSD. And then I had to pull it because I was trying to recreate it, but I found failure in doing it. So it took me about a month, or a few weeks to a month.
Okay. That's pretty wild. That's
Yeah,
neat.
and
That
then-
you built tooling to make your life easier. I like that.
Pretty
That's
much.
neat.
Yeah.
And so you did that all for essentially you built your own browser, and so that was the reason, I guess. So you built a browser, and then you're like, well, I need to distribute this browser, so I'm going to put together a method to make distribution easier for yourself. So now I guess we've unofficially called it the Seeker browser because it kind of makes
No, I
sense.
call it Icarus, Storm OS or Icarus.
Oh, okay. So anyway, the Seeker browser, Icarus. Okay. Seeker, browser, kind of the same-ish,
Yeah. Yeah. I think actually, yeah.
Title it, but I don't want to.
Yeah, you should call it the Seeker browser and then put no pun intended.
I could do that. Yeah, I
Pun
could do.
intended. I think that's
Oh yeah, actually, right. Yeah. Sorry.
because you're browsing.
Yeah,
you're seeking
pun
for something.
fully intended. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's actually.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty awesome. I mean, I think it's a neat name, but it's me personally. Call it whatever you want. Icarus.
Yeah.
I call it for the fun
I
of it.
would-
Icarus was the host name of one of my laptops that I had for a while.
No.
But anyway, so tell me about this browser. You decided to build a browser from using the WebKit or whatever Chromium base on it,
Yes.
and then you just so you take the engine down. Is that what you did? You built it off. You just took the web engine and then you just built
Yes.
the window
I
dressing
started
around it.
Because I got tired of deciding, I want a little bit of Vivaldi, I want a little bit of Opera, I want a little bit of Google Chrome. I wanted to add shortcuts that I want to control it
Okay.
in my way. I ended up with what I have now. And if Ben wants a screen share from his end,
Well, we'll hold off on the screen share for now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm not even on a system that can share it right now. So otherwise I would, but
Yep.
Nate's right. It's probably best to
all
leave
good.
that.
I actually don't have a good system set up for screen sharing. I need to work on that and I have a dedicated thing for that.
We'll save that for another night then.
I'll work on that. But anyway, so with this browser, can you do synchronization for Google
No.
you can sync and Firefox you can sync and like
No,
that?
because it actually has I didn't want to add too many things for Google services.
Okay. All right. And was that a challenge to remove the Google services, or is it because you're building it from the engine up, you can just decide what components you're going to put into it?
I just added what components I want to add to it. I have my own has easy list ad blocking, track blocking as well, tracking
Okay.
blocks. It's a lot of scripts built into it. Some of it JavaScript, but it's built into it.
So these other extensions you put into it to give you the additional features, do you find that that accelerates your web browsing experience then, or does it?
Exactly. It builds modules. I built modules into it like in the form of classes
Okay.
to actually containerize it a little bit better.
All right. So then, if let's say I were to use that for
Mhm.
Facebook or whatever, would that also block those Facebook trackers? Like a
Not
Facebook?
not entirely. It's not that great.
Okay.
I haven't tested with Facebook, but I have tested with certain other websites. I mean, the only other website I do have trouble with it is the recognition of WGU because of .edu. So you have to fill out HTTPS. It does HTTPS
Mhm.
automatically, and then / www.wgu.edu. So you have to fill out the whole thing.
Okay. So it doesn't do the automatic
So-
whatever.
Yeah, it does an automatic. If you do Control Enter, it fills in the www and the .com.
But
from the URL.
you don't have to put www necessarily, right?
No, you don't have to. It should pick it up automatically.
Okay. So this is more of it has a lot
It's a
of
fun-
fluff stripped out of it, essentially.
Yeah.
Have you used the browser Falcon before?
No, I've heard of it, but no.
I was going to ask how that compared, and that might be It might be fun to compare and contrast the two. I think because Falcon's a pretty bare bones browser as well, but probably doesn't have all the different lickies and chewies that you like to have in your browser. So
No, that's
that'd be
why.
interesting. Yeah,
Hmm.
but then that's very interesting. And how long did it take for you to go from I have no browser to I now have the browser that suits me ideally?
2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
All right.
By myself with a bunch of 5 different AIs helping me create it.
Which ones did you use?
DeepSeek, Gwen, Mistral, a little bit ChatGPT, and there was a fourth one, Llama.
Chippity? Llama. Okay.
Claude.
A lot of them, yeah.
Well, that's really neat.
Yeah.
And so, is this what browser you just use it for everything now, or do you still have keep?
I'm
open
using
for-
I'm using Icarus now, but if I need to do some, I mean, they could actually go to my banking as well, and if I really need to access my email, I'll use Google Chrome. But if not, then everything else I use it for Icarus. I use Icarus for everything else now. Is what I'm saying.
But you said not for streaming media though.
Yeah, the only thing I can't do is Netflix because it requires CDM, Widevine CDM,
Okay.
but it uses a user agent for Pluto TV. It basically thinks it's Windows 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it uses it uses what I can get WhatsApp. I can do a Discord from the web browser.
Okay.
It uses the user agent to make it think that it is that. But it uses Pluto TV, Tubi, and it can go to the Roku channel, where if you want to watch watch those movies, those free movies.
Right.
But it plays the commercials,
So what you're saying is your browser is part of the problem why the Linux representation of all these scans is so low.
Yeah, I guess.
See, we probably 8% if it wasn't for people like you, right?
Yeah, probably.
That's neat. That's it. It's quite the undertaking. I would never think to take on a browser, but the fact that you did, that's quite the taking. So I
did the browser because I wanted to do it for myself, and then I offered it to Ben and said, "Hey, Ben, you want to try to place this in Storm OS?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." Yeah.
That's super cool. Neat. Well, and then now you said that you're going to provide a download of the AppImage, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna give App Creator to Ben right now. Just give me one moment so he can transfer it over to you. Just 1 minute.
Okay. So Tyler, you are more than welcome to just butt in and say these things because that makes for a funny conversation. So what is it? Would you like to tell the joke?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was going to throw in there. I like my browser to have all 4 seasons.
I'll skip one. Anyway. Cool. All right. Yeah. If we get a link on that, I'd like to share that. Put it on the put it in the show
David,
notes, and then
so Ben has the file. It's not that big. It's only about 71K.
all right. Cool.
Yeah, it's going up on our SourceForge page currently.
Yeah. So I mean, I'd love testing for that. I mean, it has a good layout, and you'll see it. You could study the code. You know, it's the app
Yeah,
image.
if you guys want to play around with it, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
That'd be fun. I think it'd be great. So we have another app developer in the midst as well. Mike, you have been working on, we've talked about this a while ago, but you've been working on a Markdown editor. And it's called, go ahead and just
Okay, well, I guess let me explain my reason for writing this.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
Being a developer, anybody who develops deals with Markdown files fairly regularly. And one of the things that have always kind of aggravated me is I end up having to load like a heavy, feature-rich Markdown editor just to view one, let alone edit it. And Markdown is not a complex markup language, it's pretty simple. And so I thought, I would rather create kind of like a viewer/editor. And that way it'd be fast. It would load the file fast. And won't have to load a huge editor just to view the file.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. So I wrote MarkLite in Dart, which using the Flutter framework.
Okay.
And the reason I chose that was that my hope was at some point, once I get it stabilized and on Linux, it'll be pretty easy to move over to Mac and to Windows also.
Okay.
So that's my reasoning for choosing that language and framework. But do we have the ability? Can I share my screen with you? Is that doable?
Let me see if I can. So I don't have anything properly set up. So this might make everything go crazy. But I guess why not? We'll just go ahead and.
I mean, if it's a big deal, we don't have to. But I just thought I would show it in action.
Okay. Let's see if that works.
Let me try.
So what I'm concerned about is that because Zoom likes to resize my screen, if that happens, it's going to mess things up. But we'll just do it. We're kind of a low budget production, so.
Well, let's see what we got here.
And a wild Vince has appeared. Oh wait, it didn't actually do what I. That's great.
Wow.
It didn't do it.
Okay, so everybody can see it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. It did not do what I was expecting.
Well, that's good to know.
I can
Hot
share
dog.
mine.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
So I've got a Markdown file here. If you ever go to GitHub or to GitLab, or that text you read under the repository is always this file called a readme.md.
Yep.
So let's just open it up. Just double click on it. And I opened it in MarkLite, and this is MarkLite, okay? Right now it's in what's called viewer mode, so I can't really do anything with it.
Okay.
Okay.
If you had check boxes, could you check them?
No, well, if it's interactive, I don't think they have checkboxes in Markdown, do they?
They do.
Yes.
They do? Okay.
Yeah, it's dash space open bracket space close bracket space.
Well, then it would probably work in this mode because we're actually in a Markdown viewer mode. So.
Okay.
But here's the thing: is up here in the right corner, you can switch to edit mode, and you switch over to the editor, and you can see it's highlighting the actual markdown as opposed to the text. And you can, make edits, save that, go back to view mode. It's just a lightweight, fast app that allows you to view and edit these files quickly.
Okay.
Without all the overhead. And in the editor mode, you get some things, obviously cut, copy, and paste, and find, and you can go to a specific line, like 45. Oops. Oh, there it is. No, it went to it. It just didn't take us down there. That's a bug.
Well, that's how I do these things.
Well, that's right. That's right. So anyway, and of course you can also just launch this from the menu and open, open any file like that. So that's really it. But here's what and I'm going to give the screen back to you now. Let me get that back. What I need help with from all you fine people is anyone who's running a Debian-based distribution. I've tested it with most of the Ubuntu and Linux Mint distributions, and my Debian package works with most of them so far. Matter of fact, Jinda just found an error trying to install it from XFCE, and we found a problem. So that's what I need in order to kind of, help get the package stable. And I wanted to get the Debian package stable first, then I'm going to go ahead and do a snap and a flat pack after that, and probably an AppImage after hearing this tonight. So, anyway, you can go to the site by going to marklite.app, and you can go to the bottom and the download takes you to the GitLab page, and over on the right there's a release that you can download. Also at the bottom of the website, or right under those buttons, there's an email address. If you find a problem, if you don't mind, do a screen grab and just let me know what it's doing and email me back. I would really, really appreciate it.
Sweet.
And yes, that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
So I do have a question. So I've been using Obsidian as my Markdown notebook.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I don't like about it is I can't just open up a Markdown file with it. Then if I use like a few others I've tried a little bit here and there, but if I use Ocular, the KDE PDF viewer, it's fine, but it only shows it in light mode. And I know I think Eris will tell me that light mode is better because it uses less energy on an LCD screen, and he's probably right. But anyway, I do everything in dark mode because it's easier for me. But anyway, so do you have a dark mode feature that you might be working on as well?
Actually, that's in the next release.
Oh, okay.
The code's already in it. I'm just debugging it right now. But the 0.2 will have to choose between the light and the dark mode. The app. So that's a couple of people that I've had look at it. That was a request.
Okay.
So you're about the fourth person to ask me that. So that'll definitely be the next.
I always come late to the party. Yeah.
But I really need help getting the Debian package stabilized. So anyone who has a little time and doesn't mind downloading it and giving it a try, let me know if it runs okay or loads okay on your distribution. I would really appreciate it.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll run it probably in DistroBox and see how it works out in my Tumbleweed. If you have a Debian or Ubuntu, I can run it in. I think so. I'll be using Box Buddy, which is introduced to me by Jinda.
Also, Box Buddy.
Yeah, also one other thing is obviously you can just, if you get an MD file, you can whatever desktop you're using, associate that to MarkLite, and it'll load
Right.
it when you. So it's been an interesting experience going through this packaging debacle. I can honestly say that in all my years of development work, I've never seen anything so fragmented and poorly documented as the packaging tools on Linux. I mean, I hate to be negative about it, but that's the reality of it. And one thing I'm going to do after I get this project squared away is I'm going to go back and start writing some articles about how to do these things, and try and document them a little better.
I like that you use the term squared away.
Yeah.
I know where you get that
Yeah,
from.
you know what that's from. Roger
Sure
that.
do.
Yeah.
And Roger.
Yeah. But
So-
also when I point, I do the 3-finger drill sergeant point. So,
Your knife hand.
Yeah, the knife hand. Yeah, with the pinky pulled in.
Yep. Oh, with the pinky pulled in. Ooh.
Yeah,
I can't do that one.
Yeah, that's we call that the drill sergeant point. Yeah. But anyway, that's what MarkLite is, and it's just kind of a wade into open source. The code's out there. If you know Dart or Flutter, feel free to create a branch and do whatever you want. But it's wide open. Anybody can take it and do what they want with it. But as soon as I get the package, I'm not far from getting the package stuff squared away, but it's just been one problem after the other, mostly with the organizations that maintain the packages. I'll say
Okay.
that. Not so much with the technical part. But,
Gotcha. So can you create a Debian package that'll work with Ubuntu or Debian? A Deb package should say with Debian or Ubuntu?
Well, actually, my Debian package should work with either one of those.
Okay.
I have not downloaded Debian 13 yet and tried it. I tried it with 12 and it was okay. The problem that Jenda and I found is when he loaded on XFCE, it actually was missing a package called I can't remember the name of it. Where is it? Called Zenity, Zenity, which all that is, it's a kind of like a cross-platform library. It's really an app, but it also includes a library that allows you to go pull the system dialogues from whatever desktop you're on.
Okay.
Somehow it didn't get installed or included, so I got to go back and fix that. But
Gotcha.
but see, that's the kind of feedback I need.
Right.
So,
Well, I'll gladly test it out on what I got going on, so that'll be fine.
I appreciate that, and I guess that's all I have to say about it, unless somebody has any more questions.
How big is it? Like how big is the application?
Well, the install package is about 200 meg, but once it installs with all the dependencies, I think it's around 105 meg.
Okay.
So,
And the requirements to launch it, because this actually might be a good candidate for something specifically I'm thinking about right now.
what do you mean the requirements to launch it?
So how minimum amount of RAM, basically.
Oh, the memory footprint is pretty small on it. It's around, I think the last time I checked, it was about 40 or 50 megabytes.
Okay. Probably most of that being the framework itself, not so much the application.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really neat. Very cool. So I got the link to MarkLite.app. I think we can. Yep, it's in the chat. So we'll definitely it'll be in the show notes. I'll share that, and we'll do some testing on it and get back. And I'd like to have it as part of an application appetizer. Maybe like that. Maybe some with some other maybe some Markdown editors, and we can talk compare and contrast and whatnot.
I'd be more than happy to try to help if you don't mind me try to convert it to Python, and I can just help you out with it.
So Eris, that's fine. Eris, I used to run my whole computer on 64 kilobytes.
No kidding. Me too.
So for context, Eris put in the chat, says I used to run my whole computer on 64 megabytes. I'm like, 64 megabytes? I had 64 kilobytes back in 1983.
Yeah, I had the Apple IIc. I remember it very well.
That was 128 kilobytes, I believe.
Oh, you're right. Yes. Yeah, but still. Yeah, the floppy disk, it ran on 128. You're right.
All right. I just dropped the link to the app creator that Seeker talked about in the thing there.
Cool.
In the Zoom chat.
I appreciate that. That'll be neat. Is that shareable or is that
It's
a
a
shareable
source
link?
force link, so put it wherever. It's
Okay.
fine.
All right. Eris, I can IRC on a Commodore 64. Does that count for anything?
I put that with that 64 megabit computer. I used to surf the web.
Yeah. Oh. What was it, and what year was that?
It was a Toshiba. It was like 2000 something. I don't know.
So I used to surf the web on an Amiga, which had maybe
You guys want to hear something interesting?
8 megabytes. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Interesting talking about RAM. Did you know that the Voyager spacecraft runs with 78K of RAM?
Wow. As much as it's been able to do.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
78K. It's all written in assembler too.
Right. I wonder what's the CPU on there. Do you know?
I'm sure it's some simple 8-bit or 16-bit processor.
I hope it's a 6502 processor, just because.
Probably is. Because the government especially NASA, tends to run about 5 or 6 generations behind on hardware for obvious reasons.
Yeah, it's because they know what all the failures are and whatnot.
Yep.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for those. I wanted to begin a discussion on. So it's in the news again, over and over, but the Linux adoption rates. So I think last time we talked about it was, I think, U.S. only with government websites at 6%, but now they're saying globally, it's actually closer to 6%. Now, I'm put a link in the chat if someone else hasn't beat me to it already. Oh, and yes, Sean, I do know about the rebirth of Commodore, and I'm pretty excited about it. Hit me up sometime, like on Discord or something. So the Linux desktop market share isn't. So the article says the Linux share isn't 6%. The 50 million system scan says otherwise. So I'm not going to read the article necessarily, but the key takeaways were the desktop share is at 6% in Landsweeper's 15 million system analysis. Consumer PCs hit 6% versus 1.9 on Active Directory managed business systems, and AI development may be responsible for the desktop Linux gains. So one. Has anybody ever here ran a Linux desktop in an Active Directory managed business?
Yes.
Yes. And how well did that work?
It worked okay. I mean, the client I had, I do some DevOps for them, and they're a Windows shop, but some of the software they run had to run on Linux. So we set up, Ubuntu has an option to set up the Active Directory connector for their servers. And we set that up, and it never didn't work. Let me just say that.
Okay.
I don't know if we never did like speed test on it or anything like that, but you could log into the server with your Active Directory account, no problem. So.
I've only integrated Linux with AD for off, not anything else really.
Like for what do you mean by like for access into it.
Authentication.
Yeah.
For like logins and stuff.
Right.
Right.
I'm having trouble getting that to work, but that's an aside. So anyway, the point is of the whole thing is so what seems to be an increase in adoption of Linux desktop. It seems that as though the SteamOS is actually down, but Linux in general is up, with the Arch statistics being up even more so. Does that surprise anybody? It seems like Arch is not the easy button. Like, why would Arch be the one that's growing more?
I can
Well,
tell you.
have you
gaming.
seen? I mean, yeah, gaming, and the other is, have you seen some of their wild desktops on like Unix porn and stuff like that? I mean, I think between the two of them, it catches a lot of traction, and now you have all of these distros that install Arch Linux, easier, and so now and actually using Linux, I think Arch Linux is one of the easiest distros to use anyway. Like everything just kind of just works. Like if you try setting up like your network stuff on like Debian, it's infinitely harder than it is on Arch Linux.
I would
And there's a lot of
completely
other things.
and wholeheartedly disagree with that. But if that's your opinion, that's your opinion, and go with it. I did want to welcome Vince here and also Prophetic. Thank you for being here. But with the no, I think Vince, you're an Arch user, right?
Yeah,
By the way?
I'm going to pick up on that as well. Like I agree with Justin. Arch really actually does work. I haven't actually installed it in a bit. I missed the conversation about the Hoppertitus because I was on the toilet. But anyway, that's a different story.
EMI.
But I have. I mean, I've got systems on that have been on, well, formerly Arco Linux, but now Arch because things
Right.
happened. That had the same install of Arch since 2019. And I think one of the huge benefits, which people sometimes will say is a downside, is actually the rolling aspect. Like I've never had to reinstall that system. It has literally been running the same install since 2019. There have been a couple of breaking changes, but it's really only been like maybe one or two. And literally they've been like one or two lines that you just get from the Arch news page that will just fix it. And the other thing also is the adoption, which we've just been talking about. The main reason I can see, I mean, there's been people like some YouTubers who have gone and tried Linux. A lot of them have had gaming backgrounds, and so I think that's what's driven the adoption as well. People have maybe started off on SteamOS, having had a Steam Deck, and then wanted to try other things. And Arch seems to be a logical choice because it has all the up-to-date drivers and whatnot to run all these games. And as long as you kind of either run an easy installer or have some good instructions, shout out to the Arch Wiki, that it should be okay as long as you have that sort of drive to learn a few things.
Okay. So you think people are going that transition from SteamOS to maybe Arch on something else, maybe even Arch, just straight Arch on the Steam Deck, just because of that easy sidestep?
Yeah, I mean, what other sort of rolling distros are there? There aren't any. None.
Tumbleweed?
None, Nate. I knew you.
Yeah, I've got some
I was leading you on.
I
I got
know.
some input on this too. We talked about this last week, I think, didn't we? About Omarchy, the overlay on Arch that DHH has come up with for developers. This is like exploding on Instagram and X, where it's an opinionated Arch and Hyperland setup.
Okay.
Pre-installs a bunch of stuff for you and build your desktop up and all this stuff. And those guys are going wild or folks are going wild installing that. So, I mean,
Yeah.
we give you the URL for that just in case. I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, Sorry, please ignore that. That was wrong.
All right, I won't publish that.
Hey,
But,
New place to send fan mail.
yeah,
That's right.
that was a
let's
client.
dock someone.
Yeah, there you go. That's the Earl to it.
I'm
I
just
mean,
playing.
guys are like, I mean, really, programmers are like going crazy. It's not just for Ruby and Rails. It's for PHP, C++, Rust developers. Everybody's hopping on this bandwagon because all the tools are there and it's all set up for you.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was trying to say. Like, if you ever, set up, it doesn't matter if you're setting up your tiling window manager like you see on whatever, or you're setting up, like some, uh, what do you call it? Not Pavlov control, the, the sound server. If you if you ever pipe wire is what I was thinking of. If you ever have to like set that up, it is so much easier on Arch Linux than it is on Debian. It's undeniable. If you've ever had like one of those issues on Debian, like you realize that like Arch Linux just does a lot of things right out of the box that Debian doesn't do, Fedora doesn't do. If you're building from source, I mean.
Well,
my 2 cents.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot more of this for different uses, because that's been one of the, and we've discussed this, I know, forever, but one of the biggest strengths of Linux is also its biggest weakness. And that's the configurability of it, right? A lot of people don't want that. They just want to work, right? They don't want the adventure. They want to work. So that gives them that by doing these type of distros. That's not really a distro, honestly. It's just an overlay on Arch.
So what I thought was interesting about this particular article too is says that North America industries such as technology and telecommunication and finance, insurance show significantly higher Linux adoption compared to Europe, which that surprises me. To sum up, in North America, technology is the top industry adopter of Linux, while business services leads the way in Europe. So I guess the reason that surprises me is there was I think a study, or was it like I think it was Nextcloud, or I can't remember exactly what it was, but essentially, I can't cite this. I don't have the article. I have to find it. But it was scoring different countries by how open their technology is, like like how much non-proprietary software is tied in, essentially, something along those lines, like digital freedom or digital something. I don't know. But Europe scored a lot higher overall for having digital autonomy or something like that, where organizations are more likely to be, self-hosting or autonomous in Europe than they are in the United States, or North America, I should say. But in North America, it seems to be a higher adoption of Linux. So I wonder what. That's why this kind of sort of surprised me there as far as the higher adoption. I wonder if maybe with like user agent things, if that's maybe blocking some of that information. I don't know. Does anybody have any thoughts on that one? Or am I out there in left field playing with the daisies?
No, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
You might be out in left field.
Playing with the daisies, yeah.
No, I'm just playing.
No, I think the cultural thing is a big thing because they're a little more environmentally conscious, so they're more willing to hold on to hardware. Also, they're not as much as a fanboy for American corporation-based technologies, and so especially in the past, year, maybe more so, have a bad taste in their mouth with American corporations from a tech perspective. So I think it's just a lot of things are culminating and catching up with people and saying enough is enough.
Yeah, that German dude basically was wondering why like all of the why, like all of the financial transactions are actually being done from servers in the United States. He kind of was like, this is crazy.
The Swift payment system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do have a lot of concern for that as well, but I want to be careful how far we go into that conversation.
No kidding.
Let me just get my tinfoil hat real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I wear a tinfoil hat all the time. I just take it off for the show. Anyway, but so I guess on your point, Prophetic, then why would the adoption of Linux be lower in Europe than it is in the United States? Is it just maybe there's a delay there then?
Oh, I'm sorry. I misheard you. I thought it was reversed. I thought it was
No,
picking up over
No,
there.
what I'm saying is,
No.
well, I think maybe it's underrepresented in Europe. My belief is like my gut instinct would be that I think it's underrepresented in Europe, but these methods of collecting this information says that it's higher in North America than it is in Europe, but the digital autonomy is greater in Europe than it is in the United States. So like that, to me, those don't seem to line up. In my mind, it would make more sense that Europe has higher Linux adoption, higher open source adoption, higher digital autonomy adoption, and the United States would have less. But a lot of the data doesn't show that, and I'm wondering why that would be the case.
Could it be a localization thing?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I wonder if
Maybe-
it's like
maybe-
a thing of like the OS, the underlying technology, because like they concede the OS, but in terms of the tooling, they're way more conscientious of like the tooling and app infrastructure. I know they're really big on trying to replace apps. They may not be willing to replace a OS, but they're more happy and fight the low hanging fruit and grab the low hanging fruit with the applications and replace that. So hence that organization, I forget what it's called, but it's like the Civic something or another, and it's just purely bent on empowering Europe on better alternatives to owning their data and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, we know, like I think it was at Munich, or somebody is switching back to Linux. No, Munich was, and now it's somebody else. I don't know. There's some other governments are going
Yeah,
to
there's-
Linux.
Yeah, there's a couple now.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it seems like the Europeans are the ones who are pushing like the System D thing and the Wayland thing and the GNOME desktop KDE
I don't know
lack
about
of
that.
choice thing. Oh, yeah, like because
don't know
they
about-
are totally, it's that European side that's like against the Linus Torvalds.
Whatever.
Yeah. So I
Right.
think, I think, and they're basically like the Red Hat side.
Oh,
of
if I may
things.
interject, I can demo it if you want. So,
Let's hang on to that, and we'll probably do it. We'll do it a little bit.
okay.
So
Anyway.
I think what Shaston's saying is that Europe is against our American leader, Linus Torvalds.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Even though he's European, but yeah.
The nerdy
like, there's
version of East
literally
Coast
a
versus West Coast.
Yeah, it's like literally a civil war going on right now.
I
Like the
don't-
whole Ex Libre thing is fascinating.
I kind of don't know that the whole. But to me, what's whatever. I think Wayland's great. So
Not yet, but it will be.
I mean, my desktop environment of choice, I have no choice but Wayland.
yeah,
Yeah,
I can't use X either, so it's not possible.
why not?
Because it can't do multi-monitor fractional scaling.
Yes, it can.
It can do fractional scaling, but I can't do specific scaling per monitor in X.
Oh, right. You
Multi-monitor.
can now because that just got released in Ex Libre. But yes, I know that. Yeah, there's actually a guy, his name's Felipe Contreras, who basically debunked some of those lies that Wayland basically perpetrated.
Well, it just
He
wasn't
shows it
available.
Yeah,
Don't use
it
X
is
because
now
it's not
though.
supported on Mac OS anymore.
What's that?
Yeah.
I don't use X because it's not supported on Mac OS anymore.
Oh, good point.
Well,
So I guess
that
then
would.
to go back to the discussion of adoption. So what do you think is going to be the percentage of adoption at the end of the year? Do you think that this whole thing kind of sort of like goes into coast mode? Do you think we're going to have more adoption? Do you think because the Windows 10 end of life was pushed out another year, so is that going to affect some of the adoption rates, or is that totally separate?
I think we're taking over Windows and some of like the OS X side, not the Mac OS, but the OS X crowd. We'll probably take a lot of those people, and we'll probably get above, 15 to 20%.
By the end of the year?
However, I'm
By the end of
not
the year?
certain. I don't know by the end of the year, but probably within the next 2 years, possibly. But I don't know that's a good thing. I'm still wondering because I think they're going to basically become more like Windows. When everybody starts using Linux, we're gonna see like a lot, Ubuntu's very much like Windows already, and Fedora is if you're using the GNOME desktop. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot like Windows, a lot more like Windows,
Well, I think
and I
options.
hate that. Yeah,
What do you mean by Windows? Because GNOME doesn't look anything like Windows.
no, it doesn't look like it, but some of the whole they won't allow you to do what you want with your computer, basically. They'll take away certain um, privileges or rights that you previously had or abilities that you previously had. Like in Windows, it's like impossible to get your desktop to do what you want it to do. Like I have my system set up a certain way where like I can keep my hands on my keyboard as much as possible. And on Windows, it's impossible. I've tried. I can't figure it out. But I
Curious
can
if you
do it on
give me
Linux.
examples of how GNOME and Fedora prevent you from using your computer the way you want.
That's more of a
yes.
gnome. That's more of
It's
a
more of
gnome
a
thing.
Wayland thing, but yeah, Wayland is it. There's like certain behaviors Wayland does that it does, but even GNOME, there's other things too with GNOME specifically or Plasma. Like for example, it's really sticky when I switch from applications with my keyboard. I can do it on X. I can't do it on
Are
Wayland.
you able to install another desktop instead of GNOME on Fedora?
Yeah,
Then it doesn't
Plasma
prevent you from
and
doing what you want.
no, but GNOME and Fedora both do the same thing. I mean, Fedora, sorry. GNOME and KDE Plasma do the same thing.
But they're
And
not
it's so
preventing you from
Waylandish.
doing what you want. They're preventing you from
No,
using their software the way you want.
yes.
That's
But
two
when
very
they
different
gain,
things.
yeah, but when they gain the popularity, then all of a sudden everybody's gonna
I,
hey,
And
this
yet
is all we're
we were
doing.
just talking about how Omarchy is blowing up, and so I'm a little
Yeah,
confused how this is.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I'm confused. What is it you're saying that the is giving you a problem?
What's giving me a problem?
Yeah, like what is it with Plasma? Like I would say Plasma's like
Oh,
the best experience I've ever had on a desktop now and ever.
I like Plasma, but the thing is on my keyboard, when I go from my terminal to my browser or my terminal to my file browser, sometimes it'll stick. It won't actually switch. I never misses a beat on X. It always misses a beat, like several times a day
So
on Wayland desktops.
I feel like by this logic, it's like saying that LibreOffice Impress doesn't let me play Borderlands, so I can't use my computer the way I want.
That sounds
Like
right.
you're talking about a piece of software that's designed a certain way, but that doesn't
Yeah.
prevent people from doing what they want. They can always blow it away and try something else.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm essentially thinking of doing, but
Right. I just want to clear the air that like Fedora and GNOME are not preventing people from using their machine the way they want.
No, I'm not saying it like that. What I'm saying is like when like the things that Ubuntu are doing, for example, like they root their computer for to install snaps and don't give you the option to install from their package manager if it's available on snaps and things like that, that push, that will
But
make it
that's
more like Windows.
but that's an Ubuntu. But that's an Ubuntu decision though. So you don't have to use Ubuntu.
Maybe.
You can use
No,
Mint.
but
You can use
that's
Debian, straight Debian. So they're
no,
but
I agree, but
but from
that's the
from a
most
product perspective though, that's what they're doing because they have limited resources and they want to achieve a specific end state with their software where they can have better quality controls. So that's why they're pushing that for
Mhm.
their systems. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just what they're choosing to do. So if that's not for you, then you find a solution that's more fitting for you. Now, truly, I think snaps are a great technology. Actually, I run some snaps, but I don't necessarily like it being tied into something specific. I like a little more freedom, so it's just why I use what I use. But but a lot of these, I mean, there's all this experimentation going on, and
Mhm.
new amounts of fragmentation. But it's not really it's not you're acting like it's Linux is being channeled, when in reality it's actually being broadened, if anything. So
Yeah, I
there's
think I would agree with Shashton if there was no other choice but Ubuntu.
right.
Then that analogy would work. But
Well,
because
no, but
we
that's
have all
like
these
the most,
options,
but
it
that's
doesn't fly.
but that's the most prominent first distro, and people go on there and they think that, it's like
But that's
I don't know, and I think other distros are gonna kind of follow suit in their own way.
but that that's
Um,
that's just, I mean, but you're not going to have, not all distros are going to be entirely commercial focused. Some of them are not commercial focused, or they have a community focus with other commercial ambitions, but they don't necessarily lock them in.
I
Like Fedora is got all these different options. In fact, Fedora is so dissimilar from, okay, I know they don't call them distributions, but these different ways you can get Fedora now. So whatever you want to call that, whatever that term is now.
yeah,
Well, like, so we have like with I want Bazite, which is a much more locked down
yeah,
distribution, which I think is beautiful for specific use cases. Like I think it's the
I
best
do
for specific
too.
use cases. But for my
You still got
personal,
Fedora though.
right, you still have Fedora. You can still do Fedora the Fedora way. So like my
Yeah,
son, even though he doesn't want to use OpenSUSE right now, he actually preferred slow roll. He doesn't like going fast. I don't know, but he also just got a Game Boy SP. I don't understand what's wrong with him. But anyway, the point is he uses Fedora, not Bazite, because he wants that flexibility. So he uses Fedora, and he's got the option to go with it. As far as things like
mhm.
systemd or Wayland or X, most users could not care at all about those underpinnings because it doesn't mean anything to them. What they Eris Eris makes me laugh. You can just say it, interrupt me, and it's just as funny.
Nate's trying to say, I love it, but not for me. Thank you.
I do. I Not for my main systems. I want my OpenSUSE. I just do. I think there's a middle ground, somewhere between the cloud ready and not cloud ready way of doing these.
Yeah,
I just don't know what it is
yeah.
yet. I just Anyway,
Actually, I've been kind of
and
working
I
on
th- I think
something
maybe
about that.
I think maybe Dale sort of hit the nail on the head a little bit earlier about that. So I'm very interested
Yeah.
in that. But I think the variety of expressions of Linux right now, I think, is part of the growth that we're seeing in Linux. Really.
Yeah, but my problem is like, 15 years ago, a little over 15 years ago, like I signed up for something, and what the internal civil war that I see is not what I signed up for. We've always had drama, but
There was
not like
when systemd was a thing when it first came out. That was an
I
incredible
remember.
explosion. That was far worse than this
P
Libre.
oh yeah, yeah, well, because it was thrown at you, where like Wayland, they've been like, yeah, we'll like give you like 10 years or so, 10, 15 years for you to catch up. And
And then
and I think it probably will. I think a lot of the right decisions will probably ultimately happen, and you'll be able to transition over from X a little less painfully, and a lot of these issues will be ironed out. But Like this whole thing about like Ex Libre is just fascinating. I've been reading about it. It's just
Well, that's
fascinating.
so. The thing with open source though, there is nothing really stopping you from it. Whether or not a company wants to incorporate that into their packages, that's entirely up to them. That's their prerogative. That's why they're community
Yeah.
distribution. So, so to me, all that noise around Ex Libre is so far off my radar because
Yeah.
it doesn't, for
It
me and
doesn't.
most users, they don't care. It's
Yeah.
it's one of those things that only nerds that are probably somewhere on the spectrum, not
Mhm.
to say it disparagingly, that have a specific OCD for how they want to do things, those are the ones that are going to be affected. I have
Yes.
my own areas that irritate me in
Yeah.
software, but
Yeah.
or computers or whatever else, but that's not one of them. And
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not, and I don't think it's fatalistic, but I just wonder like if how much worse it will get once there's
it
more
it won't. If
more
if there's
adoption.
more adoption, then
It'll
there's
be
more
for that
adoption.
project. It'll be for that specific project, but because
Right.
other projects exist, it gets nullified. So this whole thing of like this being a
Oh,
quote unquote problem is not a problem because you have other distributions. It would never be a
mm.
problem because there's
Yeah.
other distributions.
I don't
Because
know, man. I just had somebody, I just saw somebody offer 3D rendering on Haiku just because he's so afraid that something like this is going to happen where
And
it
because he's
just gets
trying and
taken over.
because he's trying and because he can is proof that it won't be a problem because he can do that.
Yeah,
You
that's
know what I mean?
true.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And the fact that you said like Ex Libra is fascinating is proof that this will never be a problem because someone could just do that and just
Mm.
people can go there. So it'll never be a problem.
I hope so.
well, the other thing too here is, you have to remember there's a lot of different kinds of users, and
Yeah.
Mm.
the majority of them just don't care. They
Yeah.
just want to get their work done.
Point and click. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yep. So anyway, lots of options in Linux, lots of changes, lots of adoption. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I do want to take a moment here to circle back on before we go into our housekeeping and talk about next week. Seeker, you said you have something to share.
Yeah, let me see if this sharing thing will work. I guess, let me share this. Yeah, desktop one is fine. Well, that's weird. All right. So
Look at
here's
that
the
XFCE.
We see it.
That
A
mouse
lot of
has
XFCE.
wings.
That's what
Wow.
it looks like.
Oh wow! So it's a whole
Mhm.
GUI.
Yeah, it's an entire GUI based off a QT.
That's really
Uh,
cool.
Yeah, application settings. This is where you can select it. I always have mine set to ZSTD, XZ, gzip, or LGO, but I only tested out with ZSTD. The build log will add this information. You could test the build. It'll actually open up the build for you. I mean, the app image.
It's
It has trouble closing it, but go ahead, Nate. What were you saying?
This is just a Python.
Mm-hmm. It's all Python, yeah.
application? Wow.
Yep. And then you put the main script in here. It detects whether it's a Qt or GTK. Select the output. And this is an option. PNG, this is an optional. And you
Okay.
just build it. That's it.
Wow.
how do you handle dependencies?
That's the problem. I had to kind of add a lot of different dependencies for Python in it.
Uh-huh.
So
What
it
if you
has
have
a shared. Yeah, go ahead.
what if you have non-Python? Let's say you're building like a non-Python application. Could this pull what's needed for that as well, or no?
Yeah, it's not going to work with non-Python. I built it for I built it for the browser.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it requires a lot of tweaking for it to be non-Python.
Could you? Is there any
Python, but you can tweak it for non-Python.
is there any way to pull in non-Python dependencies as well?
I'd have to tweak it and play with it. I have never gotten a chance to do that. I mean, I gave it to you guys so you could actually play with it if you want to mod, you know.
No, I think that's neat. I'm just asking questions because I'm exceptionally curious, and I think it's just super cool.
Thanks.
So the you can only build app images if the app image is built with Python and Python only?
Yes, right now, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, that's neat. That's very cool.
All
So
right.
you have test. So I see you have test app image after build, run app image in terminal for CLI apps, and then enable debug mode. So what is enable debug mode? Is that
It gives you the information just in case it fails.
Okay.
But it actually tells you right in here in the build log.
Okay.
If it fails, and it's pretty accurate. And it has never failed on me. At least app creator number 11's never failed on me, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, that's really neat. That's I just the fact that you built a tool to help you build tools that you want. I know, just a jig or fixture, to build the thing. That's I think that's super cool. I'm impressed.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, were there any other questions on that? Or anything else people had? Okay, we'll go ahead and go into
one thing. When it comes to the build log, what's interesting, or one of the critiques of AppImage, is that what you use to build your app image with and what's underneath the hood is kind of like a shadow box. And it becomes a security nightmare for a lot of people to really trust AppImage because you really don't know what you're just deploying.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about your build log is that you could technically, upon export, after it's done building the app, you could technically pass through the build log and just kind of attach it as like a README potential or something like that, so that when people download the app image, they can probably dig somewhere that, hey, this was built in this way or pulled in this way, and that'd be kind of cool. So you can have some type of transparency or some level of transparency to the app build process.
No, that's true. I could do that. Yeah.
That's a big thing, especially with like Flatpaks and even with container stuff like Podmans and Docker. Is a lot of companies are saying, yeah, you're saying you're built all this Docker stuff, but like, where are you pulling your image from? What are you building things with? Because some tools that you're pulling, like libraries, could be compromised, and you think you're pulling it from this place, but you're really pulling it from this no-name person who was just forked it, did something nefarious, or just because they were practicing something and just for themselves, and it's like not the real upstream or healthy branch. So it's interesting to have that build log pass through.
As I said, I kind of built it for myself. It wasn't really meant for StormOS, but Ben included it, and then he realized he forgot to add a few things to it, but that's why I had him just remove it. Then I just said, okay, let me just talk about it then.
That's cool. Actually, I think it's really neat. Eris, what do you want to? Got something?
So this is the universal app image builder.
Yeah.
Will this be an app image itself, just to clear out my OCD?
I've built it with an app image, and it actually tries to open itself up while it's building it. It's really interesting. It doesn't work 100%. I've tried it. It doesn't work on it. I've tried building it as an app image itself, and it doesn't work 100%.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can get there sometime, and
someday maybe.
Yeah. Release an app image that creates app images. It's like that line in Star Wars. The machines building machines. How perverse. That C-3PO. I guess we're already there. Well, that's great. I really appreciate you sharing this.
No, not a problem.
That's one of the neatest things I've seen in a long while.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
So, well, thank you.
All right, so I'm not sure how to stop the sharing. So.
That's right. The controls in this new version of Zoom is totally unexpectedly not bad. So I can actually just tab over to the regular thing. So actually, that changes everything. So we're good to go.
All right, thanks.
All right. So I guess we'll hop into very quickly into housekeeping. So next week I can't be here. I potentially have somebody that may step in. I'm talking to Michael Vash, so he might be able to do next week. I'll find out for sure. If we do, it'll probably just be an open mic night format. So then this way, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But in 2 weeks, we've got a distribution exploration, and so I don't know if what the class would like to do for distro exploration, but I know they got Debian 13 that came out, Trixie, and if there's any other distros distributions out there that interest people to play around with. So, or who's Mike? Michael Vash, the Vashinator. That's who it is. Anything else? So if not, we can just do check out Debian, however you want to run it. So whatever makes sense for you to run it. If it's in a VM, distro box, or if you want to do like if you're deploying a VM with a specific appliance, or like however you would do that. See how well it works for you. So
sounds like a plan. Debian, you said. Okay.
Debian, yep, Debian 13. So in 2 weeks. So
2 weeks.
I already
right.
have. I'll probably be downloading it here soon, just because I'm going to be playing with it because I need to play with it. Anyway, all right. So next week, the Vashinator, although he doesn't call himself that lately, he may step in. We have to work out some logistics, but so potentially he may come in, and then. But for certain, in 2 weeks, we'll do a distro exploration. So, but if you have any suggestions, also the Linux Saloon calendars is functional again. I worked out some issues by going to Thunderbird. But anyway, I will have the when things are coming up, and also I can put thils in the if the schedule has to slide a little bit, like to the left or the right, a little early, a little later, depending on scheduling. I'll have the calendar as well. But if you have any suggestions, such as distribution, application, or poll ideas, please do share them to suggestions@linuxsaloon.com. Also, I like email, or you can tag Eris or myself in the Discord or the Telegram. All right, so it's that time for last call. We made it. I don't know if anybody, Tyler, I don't know if you had anything like exciting coming up for yourself, but you want to share with everybody?
Nothing too crazy planned, so.
That's fair. Oh, Prophetic, I don't know if you had anything exciting to as we walk our way out of Linux Saloon for the evening.
No, just that it's fun to experiment with different things, and don't be afraid to experiment with new technology. So whether it's scratching an itch or trying a new distro, don't be scared. Go for it. You learn something new. And better to learn from direct experience than what the interwebs says.
The scary interwebs. The scary interwebs. Yeah. Well, Vince, I'm glad you're able to join. I realize it's probably early morning for you. You haven't had your coffee or eggs and bacon yet. Do you eat eggs and bacon?
No, it's right on about lunchtime, Nate.
Oh, is it?
We're good. I did sleep in a little bit more this morning, though. That's another reason I was late. And for anyone who's also still concerned, my stomach is feeling a little bit better. Thanks.
I was concerned. I didn't want to smell anything from half a world away. Well, thank you. Well, Adam, appreciate you being here. Setting us all straight on something.
It happens.
Jinda?
Yes, Nate.
Have you broken anything at work lately?
Actually, the company that I was doing business with, they're picking up a half of a housing for a turbine. Like, yeah, they're putting like steam or something into it to generate something.
Oh.
Those guys, I'm having a very difficult time trying to explain to the fact that it bent because they're not picking it up right. Yeah, they bent 187,000 pound piece of equipment they bent the
Oh.
last time they lifted it.
How do you bend it back?
I have no idea what they did. I don't know how they bent it back or what they did. And I told them it won't work. It's made out of cast iron. It's too weak. And I'm arguing with them going back and forth. Eventually they'll email me back and throw another fit, but there's nothing I can do about it. So that was my excitement at work.
Well, that's
now
fun.
that I bored everybody to tears and I tortured Mike a lot tonight.
Well, I hope you can straighten them out and tell them how to hold their phone properly.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, Shaston, you are still in Mexico, right?
Yes.
How's it going down there? Is it warm right now? What's the average temperature?
About between 26 and 28 Celsius, which is like about 80, 85, somewhere around there.
Oh, that's
really nice. Yeah,
That's
that's
about-
nice temperature.
it's about what it is here in Michigan. So it's like Mexico right
Yeah.
now in Michigan. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at I've been doing some research on using Squash FS to create a immutable system, and then I'll write like some things around that to where like you could alter the root system if you ask nicely, but for the most part you probably won't be able to. And I'm also doing something right now where so I wrote a NeoVim plugin, so like plugin manager, and that's another thing. But basically, I'm trying to see about like taking a lot of like probably Fedora, and I'll probably convert it into like with a different init system or something, and have like an immutable situation, and then have Xort behind it. So
Well, I'd be interested if it was made in Wayland, but
you might still be interested.
all right. Well,
Yeah.
So, it sounds like a very complicated project.
It is. Yeah.
But if it's scratching that itch, that's what matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here, Mike.
problem.
Appreciate you showing up and sharing a little bit about your application. I know how long I've been hounding you about that. It's probably been what 3
Well,
months?
no, I appreciate you letting me show it, and a big shout out to Jinda for being my beta tester tonight. No joke, he uncovered about 6 or 7 things, so I'm super thankful for that. And he gets the very first MarkLite T-shirt when I get them made.
Awesome. I expect to see him wear that on this show.
That's right. Thanks for having me tonight. It was great.
Really appreciate being here. Eris, so glad to have you. Somehow I missed the fact that you're running a Framework 13. Little sad I missed that. I don't know.
I've had it for over a year now, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pretty happy with it?
Yeah, pretty good.
If there's an area that you could improve it, what would it be?
Can't think of one right now. Oh, I think I wanted a dedicated power connection instead of being one of the
USB-C.
4.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to plug mine into a dock station, so it kind of works out in that regard for me. But anyway, well, neat. I have to ask you a question when this is all done about your framework. Dale, so you said Monday your website will be back up.
Yeah, hope to have the website back online at least by Monday, if not sooner.
Because I'd like to do some reading on that site then about your transactional update business.
I'll shoot you a message whenever it gets back up again.
Sweet. Well, thank you. Glad you could make it.
Thank you.
Seeker, do appreciate your presentation on your application.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure always.
That's super cool. So thank you very much for being here. Hope to see you again. Well, I have a website called cubiclate.com. I do things. So check it out. I'm gonna do a quick little article on the whole lost my earbud business and be able to whip that up pretty quick. But anyway. So Linux Saloon is part of the Tux Digital Network, so check out more great shows at tuxdigital.com. I want to thank you all for your support, however you do it, being a part of the conversation, both the Zoom meeting and the YouTube stream, as well as for everyone for watching the show after the fact. I want to thank everyone involved in making the Linux and open source tools possible for us to not only have this conversation, but also to have fun and enjoy technology. Linux truly puts personal back in a personal computer. Thank you for stopping by. Be sure to tip developers, and please remember to Linux responsibly. Until next time, see yous.
Bye, guys.